Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, that's not what we want. Hey everybody, Dave here. Today we're going to be doing more C# practice, as we will be doing for the rest of my life. Last time I did Resistor Color Duo, and like, it's just the most simple exercise ever, and I still messed it up multiple times. I don't know how to stop doing that, so today I'm going to try so hard to read the instructions and do it right the first time. Resistor Color Trio, easy. It says convert color codes as used on resistors to a human readable label. If you want to build something using a Raspberry Pi, you'll probably use resistors. For this, you'll need to know only 3 things about them. Each resistor has a resistance value. Resistors are small. Each band acts as a digit of a number. And then these are the same numbers as last time. In Resistor Color Duo, you decoded the first 2 colors. The third color stands for how many zeros needed to be added to the main value. The main value plus the zeros gives us a value in ohms. For the exercise, it doesn't matter what ohms really are. For example, orange, orange, black would be 33 and no zeros. Orange, orange, red. Oh, because black is 0 up here. Okay, so how many zeros? 0 zeros. Orange, orange, red would be 33 and 2 zeros, which becomes 3,300 ohms. If math is your thing, oh gosh, it's not though. So an input of orange, orange, black should return 33 ohms. When we get to large resistors, a metric prefix is used to indicate the larger magnitude of ohms, such as kilo ohms. That's similar to blah, 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 blah. For an example. Oh man. Okay, I thought this was going to be easy, but it's not going to be super easy. Start in editor. Here we go. Ooh. Okay, this is different than last time. Last time we returned an integer value. This time we return a string. What I'm not going to mess up on this time, instead we'll mess up on totally different things, is the colors input here. I thought I had to split it up, but I don't. They already give you a string array and you just loop over it. I'm going to think through what I need to do out loud. So I need to return a string that will definitely end in ohms. So I could append ohms to the end of whatever I have at the end. Before that, I'll need to decide whether or not to put extra zeros or kilo after it. And then it might need to have extra zeros anyways. And then before that, I will need to actually be looping over all of the colors in order. Actually, now that I understand it's only 2, a loop does seem a little pointless. So I'm going to do this time a little different than the Resistor Color Duo. Instead of like a loop, since this time I understand a little bit better, I hope. I'm sure you watched me read the instructions. If I included that part, I probably read it wrong. I'm going to do it a little bit different here. Instead of a loop, I want to just see how it looks to directly reference the index numbers, because I know that there's always going to be at least 2 and sometimes 3 colors provided. I'm still going to use string builder. String builder equals new string builder. And then at the end, I'm still going to return sb.toString. Private char get color num. And we'll pass in color. What a switch statement. And I'm curious this time, I'm just going to let it throw an error if it wants to. I don't know if this is possible, but I'd like to do 2 lower here. Last time I did it up here when I called the method, but I think the method itself should handle that. And while I could handle it before the switch statement, I'm kind of curious whether or not you can do something like this directly inside of this value. And then the switch, we will go case, and we're just going to go copy all of these. And I'm going to do the same thing I did in the last video where I just quickly go through and do all of this. I know I said that I was going to have this return as a char, but I'm not going to do that. And it's because it occurs to me that I might need to actually do some, raising to a power or, using it as an integer in some way. So I'm going to have this go ahead and still return as an integer. I need to take the first 2 numbers and append them to the string. So let's do sb.append, and then we'll go colors, get the first index position Do I need to, no, it's already a string, so that should be fine. Then append colors index position 1. And so what we should have by this point is something like, 1, 2, and we need to add a space. No, because we might be adding more zeros. At some point, we will put a space, though. And I think that it's whenever we add ohms. So let's go ahead and put that in. Append. Then at some point, I will append kilo ohms. Kilo ohms or ohms. If colors dot, is it colors dot count or colors dot length? We will find out. Colors dot count is greater than 2. Then we'll do one thing. If it is not greater than 2, then we'll do the other thing. And I think the other thing where, if this is all the values we have, the first index, second index, we will actually append ohms like this, because we know that there's nothing else to add. It won't be kilo ohms because we just don't even have the third one specified. If the count is greater than 2, we'll take the third value. And so let's go, I think this is going to look ugly, but let's do a nested if statement. Let's refactor this a little bit before I continue, actually. I want this, I don't like nesting if statements, and I try to require myself not to. So I'm going to take this return here, put it right here, and I actually want this to be inside of here. We're going to do if colors.count is equal to 2, and that will handle any scenarios where the third array is just not provided at all, or the third array index is not provided at all, and then we will we're just basically going number, and then append ohms to the string, and then just return the string. Now, if we get this far into it, then we know that this is a special scenario where we need to append some zeros, and we might need to put kilo ohms at the end. Int third color equals, and then we'll want to do the same thing as up here, colors. Wait, I'm never calling color num at all up here. How did I miss that? This should be append get color num. We pass the color into get color num, and then that should be appended to the string. That makes a lot more sense. Then this might actually need to be like .toString, but I don't know. No, because last time it didn't have to be. So let's go int third color equals, we want get color num here. Get the third index. If there are more than that, I assume we just ignore those, just like last time. It's probably in the instructions and I just missed it. And now here we should have some number. It could be 0, it could be 5. So I'm thinking if third color is greater than 3, because it would be 0, 0, 0. Actually, it could be equal to 3. So greater than or equal to 3. Third color minus equals 3, so that it takes 3 away from it. Okay, then we loop for int I equals 0, I less than third color, I plus plus. We need to append to the string. We could append to the string directly. Just realized I put appends up here. Let's correct that. sb.append 0 for however many is left in third color. So my thought is that if this starts out, let's say as 3, then we'll go 3 minus 3 is 0. So then when it goes into here, I will be 0, third color will be 0, I is not less than third color, And so it's not going to loop in here. It will just automatically bypass the for loop. So it won't append to the string at all. sb.append kilo ohms, and then return sb.toString. Now, if it doesn't reach there, then we'll check to see third color greater than 0. Then we will do, oh, I could have done the same thing. So I'm actually, I'm duplicating logic here, but that's okay. Maybe I can come back and refactor. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do this. If third color is less than or equal to 0, then we will append ohms and return the string. Now, does that make sense? Yeah, because it's possible that they provided the third color, but the third color is just 0. If it is, then we're not appending any zeros. It's still going to just be ohms, and then we're going to return the string. If we get to this point, then third color is definitely greater than 0. I believe we can go, if third color is greater than or equal to 3, then we should take away from third color ohms. Here we can change it to be kilo ohms. That would be sort of like overriding it. If the third color is greater than 3, it reduces the count of that by 3, adds this to the string end, or well, replaces that value. And then now we can make this a little less complicated. We can get rid of this and this. We can make this be at the main level. Now we do our for loop for anything that reaches this point at all. And so up to the limit of third color, whatever that number is, we will append a 0 to the string that we have. Then we have already set our string end, so we'll actually just do append string end, and then we will return the string builder.toString. Now I'm going to take just a minute to check over this and make sure I didn't make any silly mistakes. And hopefully the only mistakes I made is reading the instructions wrong. I'm going to go ahead and add a validation here at the beginning. If colors.count is less than 2, then we are going to return an empty string. What this should prevent is nothing being in the array, only 1 being in the array. But if there are 2, then everything up to this point should succeed. And if it's not equal to exactly 2, then we know it has to have at least 3 in the count, because we have this check and this check. It can only reach this point if it's over 2 items in that array. And that's when we get that color, convert it, and then we check to see the third color's number. If it's less than or equal to 0, then we're going to, just send it back with a regular string. And then we do something special here in the case that their third color is still greater than or equal to 3. Then we do the loop to append the zeros for however many times it is. Here we go. Will it work? You know good and well this isn't going to work right. getColorNum cannot declare instance members in a static class. Okay, for one thing, I didn't do a default. Default return -1. What did I do wrong here? Private static. That's what it is. You can't have instance members in a static class. String does not contain a definition for count. Okay, that's probably length. So let's change this to length. Honestly, I never know which one it's going to be. And then, I forgot to bring in the using statement for whatever this is called, string builder. And does not contain a definition for count. Yeah. I don't see any others, so let's run it again. String array does not count. Did I do count twice? Is that what I did? Oh, right. I used count more than one time. Length. Did I use it again? I don't think I did. This looks like it's only on one line that it's having a problem with. Okay. Does it pass all the test cases? It does not. Because that would be too simple. Red and black and red, what it's saying it wanted was 2 kilo ohms, which, okay, that makes sense. And what it got was 2,000 ohms. So let's see why that would have been. Oh, I see. Maybe we need to do this different. It didn't occur to me. The second number plus 2 0, it could be like red is 2, black is 0, red is 2 zeros, which means that it really should have been converted to kilo ohms, but because of the way I'm doing it, I'm assuming that the third color would have to be at least 3 for it to be in the thousands place, but that's just not the case. All the test cases would pass if the second digit is not a 0. If string end index of, and then we'll put kilo ohms. This is so bad. If it contains that, so we're going index of, and if it's greater than, I think -1. Yeah, this is just not gonna look good. So if string end contains kilo ohms and sb.toString dot index of, oh, this is so bad. Ugh. If that is greater than -1, can I like bring this down here? Wait, that's a little bit easier to read, right? Okay, so this and this are both true. String start equals sb.toString. Okay, and then at the end here, we're just going to return string start plus string end. String start right here. Then we can change string start if we needed to. So string start equals string start dot substring 0. And then how many characters do we want? We want the length of it. So string start dot length -3, because we're taking off 3 zeros. I guess string end will equal kilo ohms here. This is saying only if it already contains kilo ohms, but that doesn't make sense. I think I wanted it to be only if the string end does not contain kilo ohms, because if it does contain it already, then I've already handled the situation. Then we reduce the length of string start, set string end to kilo ohms, and then we combine them and return it. Okay, and that is a successful exercise. I don't feel really good about this, but I think I improved from last time because I read the instructions properly, and so I knew what the goal was. Certainly, I didn't realize some of the intricacies of how, like, the string would work out, where like the second character could be a 0. That could be combined with 2 other zeros to make 3 zeros, and that would mean I need to change it to kilo ohms. I think that when I come back to refactor this, let me make a note to do, when I refactor this, change it to handle the ohms as an integer first, and then append to the string after doing all the handling. Let me go ahead and run this again so that it's the final one, I guess. I'm going to submit this now. And let me know if you're watching this and you kind of like already realize a better way that I could have done some of that. Because I honestly, maybe I'm going excessive with trying to make it as perfect as possible. I feel like when my brain says there's a better way to do that, there probably is. Now this says string formatting. Oh, wow. I know what I was supposed to do. And I think it's fair enough. I should have known this. What I was supposed to use was like string.format and use like the string interpolation to format the string. I kind of want to go back and do that now, but I'm going to let myself come back and refactor that later. I really wish that I could see these things before I do the exercise so that I could realize, oh, I'm supposed to do like string formatting. Man, I think I'm getting better at C# anyways, even if I'm doing it the wrong way. So this is fine. And this gives me the opportunity to actually refactor something, because I think if I fixed it now and use string formatting, when I come back around to refactor this later and do all the exercises again, I would have nothing to change. So really what I meant was I'm just doing my future self a favor. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.